Welcome to Judge Tammy's incredible courtroom, where the truth is unveiled and justice is delivered. Judge Tammi is a seasoned and respected jurist. She presides over civil and criminal cases with unwavering fairness and integrity.
Johnson here, if you want to do that.
Yes, this is the CrossFit.
No, Your Honor.
Oh,
That's
no.
online, Your Honor.
Okay, so this is Mr. Johnson. Marcus Johnson.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Johnson, raise your right hand for me. Mr. Johnson, can you turn towards the screen? Okay, yeah, there you are. That's fine. You're perfect right now. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can put your hand down. So, Mr. Johnson, ma'am, whoever's on the line who has not muted, please mute because I'm hearing you and I shouldn't be. All right, so now, Mr. Johnson, do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you're good. You can put your hand out. You're before the court on State of Georgia versus Marcus Kevin Johnson, 2020 CR 06960. You're entering a plea of guilty to battery family violence. You're also charged with battery count 2, that simple battery count 3, and obstruction of an officer count 4. By entering the plea of guilty to count 1, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, factual basis and recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On July the 27th, 2020, officer was dispatched to a domestic call at 151 Phoenix Boulevard in respect to room 330. Your Honor, the officer indicated that the victim, Miss Ashandra M. Battle, indicated that the defendant airballed her. The defendant caused injury to the victim's lips and scratched the victim's neck. Your Honor, that's the factual basis. The state recommendation will be count 1 will be 12 months to serve 10 days. The balance will be probated. There will be a fine of $300 fine, which will be suspended. Your Honor, the defendant has to enroll in family violence intervention program and no contact with the victim. Also, there will be a 40 hours community service. Count 2 will merge, count 3 will merge, and count 4 will be non-pros.
All right, Mr. White.
Your Honor, that is what we agreed to. We do ask that you accept the negotiated plea. We also do want to mention that Mr. Johnson and Ms. Battle no longer have any contact with each other. Mr. Johnson said he hasn't had any contact with Ms. Battle since this incident and has no intention of having any further contact with her, Your Honor.
Okay, that's probably a good idea. Mr. Johnson.
Your Honor, sorry. I believe the victim is on the line and wishes to be heard as well.
All right, Ms. Battle, if you'll unmute and show me your face, please. Raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. All right, ma'am, what is it you want me to know?
I didn't really say that I wanted to say anything. I would just like to no contact. That's all.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Johnson, I'm going to accept your plea of guilty. I'll sentence you to 12 months to serve 10 days. Balance will be probated. You'll have a fine in the amount of $300. That's going to be suspended for time served. you'll take a family violence intervention program. That's a 24-week course. You want to make sure that you do the course and complete it fully. And no contact with Miss Ashandria Battle, and you'll do 40 hours of community service. Did you understand all of that, Mr. Johnson?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you have any questions?
Yeah, actually, I've been here for a failure to appear. I just want to make sure that I be able to go home, you know, due to.
Yeah, I believe it's credit for time served. I don't have, is there any reason why he shouldn't be out today?
Your Honor, I didn't see one, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Johnson, Mr. Carmichael is in the courtroom. He's the probation expert. So he's going to speak to you about signing up for probation. Two things. The quickest way to get rearrested is to miss your court dates. So please make sure your report date. So please make sure you report as directed, or else you'll be right back here in front of me. And the second thing is, sir, no relationship ever got better with violence. You can't beat somebody into compliance in a relationship. It just doesn't work that way. So take the opportunity through the Family Violence Intervention Program to learn how to do things differently. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, sir. Mr. Austin?
Here I go. It logged me out.
Oh, okay. All right, so Mr. Austin, you're gonna have to be still because you're gonna give me vertigo if you keep moving. All right, there you are. That's okay. I just get dizzy when I see trees moving past people's head. All right, so Mr. Austin, you're before the court on, Mr. Austin, what's your first name? I'm sorry.
Jacoby.
Okay, because I don't have that on my calendar. All right, so Mr. Austin, Ms. Jeffries, you're here before the court. You are co-defendants on the same case, 2021 CR 06158, charged with battery and related charges. The charges are 1 through 8. So Ms. Jeffries, you have the 5, 6, 7, 8, battery, family violence, battery, simple battery, family violence, and simple battery. Mr. Jacoby Austin, you have 1 through 4 similar charges. So you all are represented by counsel. Ms. Jeffries, you're represented by attorney Robert Lewis, who is present here. Mr. Austin, you are represented by attorney White, Justin White. And Mr. White, have you informed your client about his right against self-incrimination under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Lewis, have you informed your client of her Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination under the Constitution of the United States?
Yes, Your Honor, I have.
All right, Mr. Jeffries, did you want to go over those rights with your client on the record?
I'm sorry, were you asking me or Mr.?
I'm sorry, Mr. Lewis, did you wish to go over those rights with your client on the record, Ms. Jeffries?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Go ahead.
Ms. Jeffries, this is Attorney Robert Lewis. I just wanted to inform you that you have a Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. And I just want to make for certain that you understand that this morning. Speak louder for the court, please.
Yes, I do. All right, thank you,
you.
Ms. Jeffries. Mr. White, did you wish to go over Mr. Austin's Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Austin, if you could raise your right hand for me. Do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, Mr. Austin?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Austin, did I go over with you your Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination?
Yes, sir.
And is it your intention that if you were called to testify against Ms. Jeffries to assert that right? It's all right.
Okay, Mr. Austin, I think we lost you for a minute. He said your attorney was asking you a question. Go ahead, Mr. White.
Mr. Austin, if you were called to testify against Ms. Jeffries, would it be your intention to assert your Fifth Amendment right?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I have no further questions.
All right, does the state have anything on the case of 2021 CR 06158 that you wish to put on the record?
Yes, Your Honor, the state will move to non-pros this case.
All right, so based on the fact that both Ms. Jeffries and Mr. Austin as co-defendants have asserted their right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution to remain silent, the state has requested a no pros. The court is going to grant said no pros as to both co-defendants under the case 2021 CR 06158 and as to all charges for each defendant. Mr. Austin, Ms. Jeffries, violence in any relationship has never made it better. No relationship has improved because of violence. And if you feel like the person is cheating or, you know, they're not treating you right, that's enough of a reason to walk away and start somewhere else. We clear? It's
Yes,
not,
ma'am.
hey, make it better. If it's not working and you feel like they're doing something that dishonors you or makes you not feel right in the relationship, then walk away. There's plenty of other people out here for both of you. We clear?
Yes, well.
All right, thank you. You're free to go at this time.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Lewis, thank you. You're free to go unless you have anything else before the court.
No, ma'am, not at this time. Thank you so much, Your Honor, and thank you, Solicitor.
Mr.
I
Austin.
won't butcher your name.
It took me a minute. I'm still working on it.
I'm
All
working
right.
on it. I promise
Mr.
the next time I talk to him, I'll have it correct. Thank you so much.
Okay, Mr. Austin, you have what you have next? All right, Mr. Harris, you're before the court, Justin J. Harris, 2022 CR 01955 and 2022 01956. These are both petitions for probation revocation. So raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony that you give in this matter will be true?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
All right. You can put your hand down, sir. So, sir, you were before this court on 14th day of June 2022. You were convicted or pled to sexual battery, 2 counts, and sentenced to 24 months on probation. You have 8 months and 1 day remaining. And it says that you violated the law by getting a new offense of being arrested for a new offense of sexual battery on August 2nd, 2022 in DeKalb County, that you failed to report on August 15th and August 22nd as directed. You failed to document proof of completing an alcohol and drug evaluation. You failed to document proof of undergoing a mental health evaluation and following recommended treatment, and you failed to pay. Mr. White, what do you have on behalf of Mr. Harris?
Your Honor, in both cases from Mr. Harris, he will be admitting to the technicals in that case and accepting probation's recommendation.
Okay. Miss, who's doing it?
I believe it's Officer, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
Officer Chang, Your Honor.
Officer Chang?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm sorry,
Good
I can
morning.
hear you. Okay, I couldn't see you because I got Mr. Harris pinned, so I can actually see him. All right, ma'am, what's your recommendation in these cases?
Your Honor, Mr. Harris was incarcerated for this DeKalb County offense on September 2nd, 2022, and he was released September 2nd, 2023 to Clayton County on the hold. We are recommending that 10 days be revoked on this case, suspend the balance, and close the case.
Mr. Harris?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Harris, you gotta get treatment. You got me? Because this is a really, really serious charge and you keep racking them up like you don't understand there's an issue. So that tells me that you need to get some help from a mental health standpoint. You got me?
I hear you.
Because something might happen where the person that gets assaulted fights back and you might not survive it. I'm just saying, sometimes you don't always have the upper hand, and you don't want this to continue until you're sitting in a prison cell or a morgue. Huh?
You came from prison.
You want to go back?
No, I don't.
Okay, so then that tells me that you have an inability to handle whatever impulse is causing you to do these things. So you need to go and get some mental health help. You hear me? Because I ordered you to do that before and you didn't. And then look what happened. You ended up doing a year in DeKalb County. Am I right?
Nah, I didn't do a year in DeKalb County. They sent me to DOC.
You did a year in prison?
Yeah, I came straight here from prison.
So you understand when I say you need some mental health help to keep you from repeating this. This is the third one, sir. If you go back to prison again, you ain't gonna just do a year. With your history, you're gonna end up in prison for some time. You got me?
Yeah, I understand the gravity of the situation.
I'm glad you do. Because I need you to get that mental health help to keep you from doing this again.
That's not what the problem is, but
Is what?
that's not what the issue is.
Well, what's the issue? Because I don't understand 3 sexual batteries.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being transparent, it really just, yeah, I can be transparent. You know?
Please.
I had to experience this. I had to walk through this in life. You know what I mean? It was really just an opportunity for money. The money came in, so I got addicted to the money. It wasn't for sexual gratification. I don't have that problem. Anybody in my life that knows me, my mother can tell you, I don't have that problem. It's just, it was the money. You know what I mean? It kept coming. So, you know, I got addicted to the money. It was easy money.
Okay. Well, easy money ain't always good money. Have you ever heard that?
You're right. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So, sir, I'm going to accept the recommendation of probation. I'm going to give you 10 days in jail. Has he served the 10 days, Mr. White?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And you'll receive credit for time served. The rest of your case will be suspended, not dismissed, not closed. And if you violate by receiving another arrest for any offense of Georgia law, then you'll be back here before me. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, you can go back with the sheriff's office. Well, count on case 2021 CR 05739. 12 months to serve 1 day, credit for time served. Balance will be suspended as long as he does not go back to the incident location and has no contact with Jacqueline Moreno. On the case 2022 CR 00140. For count 1, 12 months to serve 3 days. Credit for time served. Balance will be probated for him to take an anger management course and not to go back to the incident location or have contact with Jacqueline Moreno. On count 2, it will run count 2 will run concurrent with count 1, 12 months to serve 3 days, credit for time served, balance suspended as long as he has no new violations of the laws of the state of Georgia and does not go back to the incident location or contact Jacqueline Moreno.
Yes, Your Honor, that was our expectation of what the negotiated plea would be. We would ask that you would accept that.
All right, so Mr. Smith, Mr. Wilson, I have concerns. So my concern is that Mr. Wilson, you keep having these incidents with the mother of your children or child. How many children do you have with Miss Moreno?
4
Okay.
daughters.
Have you been married to Miss Moreno at any point?
No, she's actually from New York, and I brought her like about it's probably 11 years ago now. This all happened probably 2-3 years ago, but she was here for the time being from 2013 until this incident. So like right now, I don't even, I say it again.
Is she back in New York?
Yes, ma'am. The incident happened at my mother's house. So I'm in my mother's house now. She moved back to her mom in New York.
Okay, if we could, do we know mother's house? Because we have him not going back to the incident location. Yeah. All right, where are the children?
They're in New York too.
All right, so the only contact you can have with them is if you're sending child support payments, or if you get an order from the Superior Court directing how that contact is to take place with those children. And Ms. Moreno, if it's through the Superior Court. Do you understand?
Okay.
All right. Mr. Smith, do you have any information regarding who the house belongs to?
I don't, Your Honor. I don't have any independent information other than what I've been told.
Okay.
No, the house belongs to Rachel Toole. That's my mother.
Rachel Toole?
Yeah, Rachel Toole.
All right, so the restriction to have no contact with Jacqueline Moreno will remain, but I will allow you to go back to the incident location.
Okay.
But Mr. Wilson, I need to tell you that if you have contact with Ms. Moreno outside of what I instructed you, you could be rearrested and your and your sentence could be changed from a probation sentence to a jail sentence. And you could also be charged with additional misdemeanors or felonies, such as the felony of aggravated stalking, which is punishable by up to 10 years in prison, a $10,000 fine, or both. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Wilson, the other thing is you have 4 children, you have 4 daughters. And so you're teaching them how a man is supposed to treat them. And if that's the way you treat their mother, that every time you get mad, something has to break, or you have to take something, or you have to destroy something or be aggressive, then you're treating your daughters that's the kind of man they're going to be with, somebody who is abusive or loud or destructive and scary. Is that what you want from them?
No, ma'am. I kind of that's why I kind of just been staying away for like the past 2 years, because I didn't like how the picture was being painted on me. But at the same time, I do need to work on my reactions, because I don't think anything should be that serious to be taken to where it went. But I feel like just honestly, I
I'm
feel
only
like
hearing one side of the story.
yeah, and that's true right there, and that's why it's just like it's okay for you to say that, but I feel like I do an amazing job to let my daughters know that I'm not that, but I shouldn't let anybody judge how I feel on certain situations.
I just say this, Mr. Wilson, a lot of times we think that the kids are getting more from what we say, but they're really getting more from what they observe. And so your daughters will learn more from how you treat their mother, even if you're not in a relationship with her. If you treat her with respect as the person who is raising 4 girls, your 4 children, if you treat her with respect and you all have a cooperative relationship, your daughters will learn a lot more about who you are as a person, as opposed to you just telling them or spoiling them. But if they see the way you treat their mother, then that informs who they need to look to should they start seeking out relationships in the future. So I just say that I know that I'm hearing one side of the story, but what I'm telling you is both of y'all need to be in a position where y'all are co-parenting as opposed to being opposing each other. And it may take counseling for both of you. Take the anger management course and then take those tools and change the way you react to certain stimuli, okay?
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to put you in a breakout room with Mr. Carmichael. Mr. Carmichael is going to explain everything that you need to know about probation. If you have any particular questions, like, work questions or anything like that, go ahead and ask those of Mr. Carmichael, and he'll answer those questions for you, or he'll direct you to who can answer them. Once you finish speaking with him, then you can go on your day. Just make sure that you report, because the quickest way to get rearrested is to not report for your probation, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes.
Ms.
And
Wilson,
the
if you would
last,
call me when you're done.
okay,
I
the
will.
last thing I wanted to emphasize is on the case 2022 CR 01106, which is represented by Lister Holton Dennis. The court is going to accept a not guilty. So, Mr. Wilson, I just say be mindful that you're not convicted of anything, but please be mindful that you have a DUI pending. You don't want to get into a similar type of situation. Okay, so govern yourself accordingly. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna go in the breakout room. Once you finish talking to Mr. Carmichael, you'll be free to go.
Okay, thank you for everything.
You too. All right, Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
You may. Thank you, sir. All right. The next case is Amon Amali Campbell. Amon Amali Campbell. Amon Amali Campbell. Last call. I don't see anybody else on the video. Benchmark will be granted, and show me your face. I see that you're present, but I need to see your face. Randy.
I'm trying to show the video. Give me just a second, please.
All right, no problem. Hey, this is working out pretty well. I think sound quality is probably not the best, but we're gonna try and work on that. I'm gonna work with Ben and see what we can do about that. That's why I've been reluctant. I like doing it in here better, but that's why I've been reluctant, is because sound quality is not the best, even when we're all in here.
Is this okay, so let me see.
So are you on your phone?
Yes.
Okay. So when do you see participants?
Let's see. When I click on your video, I can't see anything.
Okay. When you click on your name, Randy's Galaxy, you should see, just put your finger on where your name is, Randy's Galaxy, and you should see 3 dots come up in a rectangle. You see that? There you are, Mr. Watson. So you're before the court. Okay, you're connecting to audio. Can you hear me?
All right.
There you are. So, Mr. Randy.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Mr. Randy Terrell Watson, you're before the court for no insurance and no tag or expired or invalid tag. Did you want to represent yourself, or did you need an attorney to represent you?
How much does an attorney cost?
I'm sorry?
How much would an attorney cost me in court fees?
I think it's $50. You don't have to pay it right now.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead then.
Okay, so here, first of all, before we get you an attorney, do you want to hear what the state is offering in this case?
I would love to hear what the state is offering right now.
All right, what's the state offering, Ms. John B.A.? Okay, so it would be $200 for the no insurance. Is he NOLO eligible? And you're eligible to use a NOLO. The NOLO would help prevent you from having a suspension of your license, and I could give you up to 60 days to pay it, to pay the fines and fees without putting you on probation. If you needed a longer time, we have a probation option, but it would be $200 for no insurance, so it would be $298 with the surcharges. And the no tag will be $100. So that'd be $151.50 with the surcharges. So it would end up being like $350. Yeah, pretty much $350 total. And
How
I
do
could,
I show you? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I apologize.
no, I was gonna say, I give you 30 days at a minimum because you're not at the courthouse. But if you needed more time, I could give you up to 60 days. If you needed even more time, I could give you up to 12 months with a probation option. All right, you had a question?
How am I able to show you guys that I had insurance at the time? Without being there?
Do you have the insurance? Like, did you have the information?
It was on my phone, but for some reason it wouldn't, the app wouldn't pull up. So I had to just go along with whatever was going on. So
Okay, do you have something from your insurance company that you could send in?
I have a picture, I have like a screenshot of it at that time, but no, not as of right now.
Okay,
I
could
just
you
have a
contact,
screenshot of it.
what would he need to show the state for? Okay, the picture from that time? Oh, if you have your information, then you can is there an email option or? Okay, so Miss John VA is gonna put the information in the chat. When you get the chat, that's how you're gonna send her back that picture of what you have, okay?
Okay.
All right, so that you might not even need an attorney because she may be able to help you resolve that.
Okay. And what are the other
He's gonna send it to you now.
sources?
You should see like a red number pop up on the chat function. Oh, just hold on a second. All right, so she sent it. That's where you'll send your proof.
Okay.
All right, you want to do that right now?
I sent it.
You sent it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you get it, Mr. John VA? He said there was something wrong with his app when he was trying to pull it up at the time of the stop.
So what I don't understand about, I wasn't stopped. That's why I don't get the situation.
Okay, how did you come in contact with the officer?
I was actually in an accident and it was the other participant's fault. I was rear-ended at a stoplight because that person was on their phone. And then all of this stuff came about through that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they run both sides when it's an accident. Yeah, that's what happens. So
So I'm confused on how that works because I wasn't on my phone, but she was, and she got to drive off. And then I get all these other charges like that. That boggles my brain cells.
not necessarily that she got to drive off.
She did drive off.
Did
I
she
saw her drive off. She drove off.
Okay, so she rear-ended you.
Yes.
And she got no, you didn't see him.
Weezer, I'm sorry, man. We were at a stoplight and I got rear-ended. We weren't driving. We were at a stoplight.
Yeah.
Call the police. They asked me for 20 million things. She pulled off and I got all these charges. So I'm honestly confused. I called the other day. I apologize for not calling back.
They checked, Mr. Watson. She was cited.
I apologize for not calling back, but like I got obstruction of a firefighter and all this other stuff, and I'm just kind of confused on how that works. I even got an identity fraud thing in here, so I'm just right now. I'm just like I'm confused on why I got all these charges.
Mr. Watson, I only see two things.
All right, I'm sorry.
I only see no insurance and no tag or expired or invalid tag. But you said that you had insurance at the time. So, and the other person in the incident we just checked, they did get cited.
Well, I don't know, but it was kind of crazy how when the accident happened, I got all different charges. I don't know who Miss K Wright is. I guess this ain't your court, it's her court, which is magistrate court. So I don't know, nor do I understand. But I was just trying to get I'm trying to get an understanding of how this works with Georgia because
Oh, no,
just,
sir, oh, okay, so now I can explain it. Those aren't your charges. You only got insurance, no, no tag. Those other charges are for her. You're a witness to those charges.
but it has my name attached to it, and it
As a
says pending.
witness, Mr. Watson. Your name is attached as a witness, that's all.
Even with the identity fraud thing, because what happened with that is
I don't have anything for you except, hear me clearly, is no insurance and no tag or expired invalid tag. All of the other charges were for her, and you're a witness to those charges. So you will probably get notice from the court when her charges go to court. But it's
Okay.
not for you getting those charges, okay? Have I explained it? So you
Yeah,
feel better
that's
now
mine.
that you're not getting charged with all of those things? And she didn't
I
pop up?
feel a little bit better because they took my license at that particular time, and I didn't understand why. So
All right. Ms. Janvier, were you able to get the information? This, yeah, she's gonna step out of the courtroom because reception in this courtroom is horrible. So she's gonna step out and see if it has come in, okay? All right, just hold on for a second.
what information
You
came
asked
in?
those, huh?
What information came in?
No, did you say you sent her what you were trying to send her, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so she can't, the reception in the courtroom is horrible. So she's
Okay.
gotta go outside into the hallway to see if it's gonna come up on her phone.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. And what else were you saying to me about tags?
That was it. Your no insurance and no tag or expired or invalid tag. Those were the two charges you got. The
Well,
other question is, did you send it? Did you just text it? You texted that to her
I sent it through chat. Yes.
through the chat or through the information she sent to you?
She just sent me them.
Yeah, she sent you her where you can text the picture.
Oh yes, because it has her number with it. Should I send
Yeah.
it to her personal phone?
Yeah, send it to that phone. That's her work phone. Okay, he's sending it, Ms. Jarvie. I think there was a miscommunication. Kind of time. Yeah. You have anything for me, Ms. Arnold?
Also Jesus Christ, don't do that again. Going back to something. Also, I had a question for the situation with the no tags. I kept my personal St. Louis tags on there or Missouri tags on there because I was in a transitional state of switching over to Georgia tags. I just hadn't got them yet. So I know that there's a flaky situation for me. So that's just my explanation on that.
Okay, no problem. You sent that to Ms. Janvier?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so let's hold on and she'll come back in a moment with that.
Okay.
All right, so the state is gonna dismiss those charges, Mr. Watson.
Okay, and the warrant will be lifted.
Yeah, and she's got the paperwork right here for me to sign. She's about to hand it to me.
Okay, can I get that by email or?
You can get a copy. It's gonna go into the clerk's office today. You can get a copy of all of these things from the clerk's office at 9151 Terra Boulevard on the first floor.
Yes, ma'am. Is there anything else that I need to know or that
No, Mr. Watson. Now we cleared it. You're not getting all those charges. That was the other driver. Okay.
Thank you.
No problem, sir. You have a great day. I'm gonna sign off on the no pros, and Ms. Arnold's about to hand me the bench warrant set aside.
All right. Thank you very much. You have a great afternoon.
All right, you too, sir. Take care.
You too. Bye.
All right, so is there anything else the court needs to take up on these two calendars? All right, so, y'all might actually get lunch. We're in recess until 12:30. That's on the file. Thank you all. All righty, Jaquez Deshaun King. Jaquez Deshaun King. Last call for Jaquez Deshaun King. All right, I don't have him listed with an attorney. Bench warrant bond forfeiture. Next is Anthony Leonard Moore. Anthony Leonard Moore.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, y'all. I'm here.
All right, so Mr. Moore, I don't see an attorney, but you're charged with improper passing. Sir, did you wish to hear what the state wants to offer, wants to ask the court to do on that case, or did you wish to go to trial?
Yeah, I would like to get it called to the state.
All right, Miss Javier. Okay, there you are.
Your Honor, so he has two cases.
When is okay? Because I only see the 2021. What other case does he have?
This one is 2022 CR 03471.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Wi-Fi glitched on the last several one. You said 2022 CR
03471.
Okay, thank you. All right, and then what kind of charges is that?
It's a stop sign.
Okay, did you want to do both these cases, Mr. Moore? Because the next case is a stop sign case. The previous case is an improper passing.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Janvier.
So for the case ending in 006973 would be a $1 fine. And for the case ending in 03471, it'd also be a $100 fine.
All right. So, Mr. Moore, each of those cases, is he NOLO eligible? Do we know?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Moore, you're eligible to enter a NOLO plea. Each of those cases, it would be a $100 fine, which would be $151.50 with the surcharges. And I would give you up to 60 days to pay. So did you want to take a plea on those two cases?
Yeah.
All right. Raise your right hand for me, sir. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yeah.
All right, you can put your hand down. So, Mr. Moore, you're before the court on 2021 CR 06973, Anthony Leonard Moore, for improper passing. And you're also before the court on 2022 CR 03471 for violation of a stop sign. So, sir, you're entering a plea of NOLO on both cases to both offenses. By doing so, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or have to present any evidence or testimony against yourself. And if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, factual basis and recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. For the case ending in 06973, on May 18th of 2020, while on duty of North Main Street and Spring Street in Clayton County when the incident occurred, an officer observed a motor vehicle being operated by the defendant, Mr. Moore, cross the double yellow line into oncoming traffic to pass a vehicle. That concludes the facts, Your Honor. The state is recommending $100 fine.
All right.
Your Honor,
Mr. Moore, So
Yeah.
each of the $100 fines is going to be $151.50. I'm going to give you 60 days in which to pay the fines and fees on case 2021 CR 06973. And I'll run that concurrent, meaning at the same time as the fines and fees on 2022 CR 03471. So you'll have 60 days to pay both of those. What I need you to do now is send your email address. Do you know how to use the chat function?
I believe so.
All right. So what I need you to do is don't send it to everybody, but Miss Holcomb, Miss Terrell, Taryl Holcomb, is the clerk today, and she's gonna get that information and send it back to you by email.
Okay, quick question, Your Honor. I believe I got arrested for the first charge in the 973, the
Yes.
improper turning, and I bonded out for that. That doesn't. I can't get time served for that because I bonded out for that charge, I believe.
Well, hold on, let me see. Miss John VA, did you want to?
Can I double check? But if that's the case, I don't have an issue with that. But let me just double check.
Sure, no problem. She's gonna check.
Yeah, I paid like $200 something to bond out for that, and they dismissed one of when I had court a while back. They dismissed, I guess, the CBD charge because they found a 0.1 of CBD in the car, but that's why they locked me up. So I had to bond out for that, and I got out the next day.
They locking people up for CBD?
I guess they didn't know if it was marijuana or not, so I just got locked up for that.
Well, I'm sorry for that. It's gonna make folks have to reconsider their liniment and rubs and muscle creams now if you're getting locked up for CBD.
Yeah, I was doing DoorDash that morning. I remember I had made a left and got pulled over because I did make a proper turn because the train was coming, and then the officer seen the CBD in the car and just locked me up basically. And I bonded out the next day, and they dropped the CBD charge because they couldn't test it. You know what I mean? Then yeah, I'm here now.
I got you. Ms. John, VA, we got any confirmation? So, Mr. Moore, while we're doing that, did you already send your email address to Ms. Holcomb?
I'm sending it right now.
Okay, it's Taryl. So that's who you need to send it to.
So, Your Honor, I can confirm 2 days in custody. So that's fine. I will suspend the fines for both of those.
All right. Thank you so much.
To read the facts for the second one, if you want to stipulate, that's fine. Also, it wasn't on the record.
Okay, ma'am, that's fine. So, Mr. Moore, you're gonna get both of those fines will be suspended, sir.
Thank you so much.
All right, Mr. Moore, be careful out there, okay?
Yes, man, I definitely will.
All right, you're done. Thank you.
Happy holidays, guys.
You too. Mosley. Mr. Mosley should be represented by Lister Holton Dennis. It says Alfonso Kraft, but he should have Lister Holton Dennis.
Yes, Your Honor, but we don't have his contact, so I'll just need to talk with him.
All right, so Mr. Mosley, I'm gonna need you to I hope you're not driving because you're gonna need to pull over, and then you're gonna need to chat your contact information to Mr. White, Justin White, so he can talk to you and we can get this get an announcement today, okay?
Okay.
All right. So yeah, don't be driving while you're doing this. That's distracted driving. You come to court and pick up another charge. What sense would that make? Phillips?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Phillips is present. Lister Holton Dennis?
Your Honor, it is my understanding that the Mr. Phillips that is present is actually the father of my client in this case. We had apparently his email address. I had told the son to also appear, but I don't currently see him.
Mr. Phillips, where's your son?
In Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, why is he in Charlotte and why couldn't he appear by video?
I don't think he has a computer. But my understanding is that his probation officer told him that his case had expired.
This is a new case. He doesn't have a probation for this case. It's still open.
I don't understand why why he has to go to court.
Okay, so Mr. Frank Harrison Phillips has a 2022 driving under the influence case. I don't know what the bond is for anything because this case is still open. He hasn't been before a judge to be sentenced. He hasn't had a trial.
He served 30 days in jail. I did not post bond for him.
That does not resolve a case. That just means you couldn't bond out for pretrial detention. It doesn't mean your case is resolved.
Well, yes,
bond and a sentence are different.
Yes, but as far as information I received from him, is that he spent the 30 days in jail and then he was on probation for a year. And his probation officer, who was Rebecca Chang, said that told him his case had expired and it was no longer an issue. And so therefore he went on with his life, not realizing he had any more obligations.
There's a couple of things wrong with that. First of all, that is possible, but that would have been for a different case. A 2022 case hasn't even come up for trial yet, and it's been less than a year since 2022. So if he had a 2022 case, he wouldn't have already been served 30 days in jail, been sentenced, and served a year on probation.
Yes, ma'am. So I think what you're telling me is that this is a second case.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. That's what I'm telling you. And your son needs to be here.
Well, I don't think he understands that he had a second case. As far as he was concerned, his only case was took place on November 13th, 2021.
That's not my issue because the notice to appear would have said that this is a 2022 case.
Yes, ma'am.
And I didn't excuse him.
Yes, I don't think he received that. After he got out of jail, he stayed in Jonesboro for quite some time and then went to We Are Living Proof up at Lawrenceville, and then another one in Marietta. And after that, he's moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. I don't believe he ever got any word that there was a second case. I don't know that, but that's in my talking to him, all he knew was about the first case in November of 21.
Okay, so that highlights a couple of things. First of all, he's been given notice, and we are given notice to the last available address that he provided. So if he failed to provide an updated address, that's on him. Second thing is he still has to be here. Even if it was incorrect, out of an abundance of caution, he should have come. But yeah, he's going to get a bench warrant and a bond forfeiture because he's not here.
Yes, ma'am. So I don't understand the bond forfeiture. I never put up any bond, or he didn't have it bond.
On this, it says he put up a bond. That's what I'm telling you. This is an entirely new case.
I guess I'm assuming that the court knows that I just don't believe this happened. He didn't have a car. He wasn't driving.
Mr. Phillips, I can't debate that with you, sir. Your son needed to be here for this calendar call. It's obvious that he has information that you don't have. So at this time, I'm going to issue a bench warrant bond forfeiture, and you can let him know that he needs to contact his attorney at Lister Holton Dennis.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
This Antonio. I was just trying to see.
This is Thomas.
Hold on, Mr. Florio, mute.
Nah, this Antonio. I was just trying to see.
I got you, Mr. Harris. You did what now?
I was just trying to see, cause for my little misdemeanor, I had already went to court for it last year, and I had did time for it already. It's in the charges on criminal trespassing. So I'm just trying to see how can I go by what I got to do, because they ain't really tell me now.
Your attorney is here frantic that you about to mess up your own case because you keep talking. She's gonna talk to you, Mr. Harris.
All right.
Harris, I apologize. I'm trying to be 15 places at once. I will give you a call. I got your phone number, but just don't say anything, please. Thank you.
Judge, may I interrupt?
Yes, Mr. Phillips.
Trey Phillips his name is Frank H. Phillips. This is my son who I was talking to you about, who now lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. I
That's
have
fine.
gotten him to Zoom in onto the meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
He's gonna meet with his attorney in a minute.
Thank you, ma'am.
Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. White.
Your Honor, I have an announcement in Mr. Boston's case. We're going to be announcing ready on both cases.
All right, so Mr. Boston, please keep in touch with your attorney. You'll receive notices for the next trial dates. If you don't get the notice, then that means you need to change. If you didn't get this notice, that means you need to change your address so that we have the most current address. However, if you got the notice just fine, that's where the next one will come, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Mr. Boston, make sure that you pay attention to your bond conditions. You've been instructed in your bond conditions to not have contact with a particular person or persons. Please make sure that you do not have contact with those persons. If you do, even if they contact with you, if you have contact with them, you're subjecting yourself to having your bond revoked. You could spend the remainder of that time in jail, and you could also be charged with misdemeanors or felonies. Okay. So please be mindful of that. You're free to go at this time.
Your Honor, the thing is, on the bond contact, it says that
Miss Vance.
He's taking my child now. He's taking my child and used my child against me because of this case. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Okay, Miss Vance, I don't know y'all's relationship. Are y'all married?
No, we're not. But he has illegally taken my child away from me for 3 years.
Miss Benz, then you need to go through the superior court that deals with family issues, or you need to go to jail to the police and swear out a warrant for interference with custody. If you had custody. Now, if he's an equal parent, you might have to figure something else out.
My child is not legitimized in the state of Georgia.
Okay, then you need to go to the police.
Mr. Boston, I wouldn't say anything.
Boston, Ben, stop it. I'm not here for y'all for this. Y'all see all this foolishness where you having babies with people and we're not married and we don't know what our legal status is. I'm not your attorney. What I'm telling you is if you need to go figure something out, then go to the police or go to superior court. Family law is not what I do. Y'all getting into these situations with no clue about the legal ramifications of just having a baby with somebody. Marriage, that's pretty cut and dry. You can figure that out. But when you're just having a baby with somebody, then you don't know what the legal ramifications are. You need to go to the police if you feel like he's interfered with custody. You need to go to superior court if you feel like you need to have custody and legitimation straightened out. Neither which do I do. Whew. Lot. All right, so Mr. Allen, your attorney has announced you're ready for trial, so you're free to go at this time. Mr. Boston, your attorney has announced that you're ready for trial. You're free to go at this time.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
All right. Coleman, I don't know that they appeared, but because there was a waiver, but their trial calendar, you're free to go at this time.
So am I free to go, Your Honor?
Miss Benz, you can do whatever you want to. I don't control your presence here. You're a witness for the state. I told you if you have issues, contact Miss Hemphill.
What's the point of you being a judge and you have conditions over his bond, and on the bond conditions it says that he's not supposed to be around me or my children, and this man has taken my child and knowing that he's not supposed to be around my child.
Ma'am, then that's why you call the police and show them the bond conditions. They don't know where he
is to even get my son. We don't have
ma'am,
no
I don't know where he
is.
Ma'am, how would I know where he is?
This is not fair. Y'all supposed to be the justice system, and I'm the victim.
I'm not the
He took my
police, Miss
son.
Benz. Miss Benz, I'm not the police. What I do right here, sitting in a chair, looking out over the courtroom. I'm not the police. I'm not gonna go track down Mr. Boston. That's not my job.
That's all right. My attorney will be in contact. Thank you. You have a great day, Judge.
He don't need to contact me.
No, my attorney will be in contact with his attorney.
All right. Well, y'all work that out. All right. So, Hand, your Mr. Florio has announced ready for trial. You're free to go at this time if you are not already. Howell announced ready for trial. You're free to go at this time. Johnson, Darlene, that case has been no prost. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I feel for Miss Benz, but I'm just gonna make a public service announcement. Judges don't do everything. We don't do what the police do. We don't do everything. So what I was trying to explain to her is I don't deal with custody and all of those things. The only thing I do is I stop violence from happening between people. And if you have a bond condition that comes up from magistrate court, that determines that we're going to keep people apart so that there's no violence until the case is resolved. I don't get into whether somebody can see their kids or not, or legitimation, or because that's stuff that y'all already should figure out. If y'all are having children with somebody, you already know or should know the legal ramifications of it. I can't. There's nothing I can do about going to get her child from Mr. Boston. That is not my role. She can go to the police. She can go to Superior Court, but I don't control those dynamics between people. I know my role, and I'm going to stay in my lane. But what I'm not going to do is have somebody tell me that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do because they don't know how to reach their baby's father. Let me know when Miss Sonia is back and available.
Okay, Judge, she's left the courtroom. I'll let you know when she's back in. And did Miss Hahn let you know that Mr. Jones was actually in the courtroom?
Yeah, Kamari Jones, yeah.
Okay.
That's Mr. White's case, so he'll have to speak with Mr. White.
All right, no problem.
Thank you.
Judge, may I interrupt again? This is Frank Phillips.
Yes, Mr. Phillips.
The reason my son didn't show up for the Zoom meeting or at your court was the message to do so was sent to me and not to him.
Well, Mr. Phillips, he has the responsibility of making sure his address is updated, sir. He's here now.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
We're going to have like, I guess he said like a 30-second lag on YouTube. All right, so we're going live on YouTube, and then we'll start, and I'm gonna figure out how to record this. So now I gotta mute the YouTube so I don't hear it. There we go. Okay. And record. All right. So thank you all for your patience. Sorry for the delays. Hi, Ms. Tolles, how are you? Okay, so first for the recording purposes, this is the 20, and we're starting at about 10:20. We had some technical difficulties, mainly a judge who's not technically proficient. But first things first, because we have Ms. Tolles here, we are recording the hearing. Ms. Tolles, did you look at the calendar, or does anybody know of any individuals on the calendar who may need the assistance of an interpreter?
Your Honor, I saw a Miss Quinones on the calendar, and so
Okay.
I'm sure she might need assistance this morning.
All right, Ms. Quinones's case was resolved through a plea in absentia, so she's no longer on the calendar. Did we have anybody else that we know of?
Not that I see, Your Honor.
No, ma'am. None that I've talked. All right, so Ms. Tolles, if you are needed elsewhere, then I can excuse you at this time, and thank you for your appearance.
Okay.
If we need you, can we? All right, thank you. All right, so are we ready with the first person? Okay, who are we calling up?
I'll take Stephen Quarles if I can have a little breakout room to conference with him.
Okay, Mr. Quarles.
We're gonna put him in a breakout room with Miss Hadley. Does anybody have a plea that's ready? All right, you all can join the breakout rooms at this time. All right, Ms. Gilkey, did you have any other, and Mr. Austin, did you have any other probation issues? I know we were gonna open it to make sure.
At this time, we don't have any cases for probation. The calendar had Mr. Cleon Hodges.
Right, and we resolved his case yesterday.
Yes, Your Honor. And that's all we have on the probation calendar for today.
Okay, so Mr. Austin and Miss Gilkey, so I figured out that can we do, so we can't, she can't talk to him individually?
She has to talk to right in front of everyone right now at the podium.
Yeah, he's gonna be in the, a lot of other, the inmates will all be there. But.
Oh, okay.
We can't use it in private.
Had you talked to him previously about the plea?
Mr. Quarles is the only person I didn't talk to.
Okay, so can we hold Mr. Quarles to last, and then that way when we resolve everybody else, as they go back to their housing units, we can get him.
Yeah.
Okay, so
still reaching out to Melissa, Judge.
Okay.
No response. I'm a little worried. So,
all right, yes.
I was wondering if we had anyone else that we could proceed with that has ready for a plea. Everybody has.
Well, Mr. Brooks is in the breakout room with Mr. Lynch, so hopefully they'll be out soon. If not, I'll just end their breakout session. That's what.
Sorry about that with the ice.
Huh?
Sorry about the ice.
Oh, okay, no problem.
I'm an ice chewer.
Oh.
That was a Coke, not a beer.
Oh, in the koozie.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't realize my mic was still on.
Yeah, Mr. Brazil. And first of all, you're more of a Coke man than a beer man, and it would be too early for both on my end.
Well, they're all in the same refrigerator, so.
That's funny.
Okay,
yes,
so
ma'am.
Are you gonna do your arraignments from the office tomorrow?
Thank you for joining me on this journey inside Judge Tammy's daily courtroom. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fascinating insights into the world of law and justice by Judge Tammi. Thanks for watching, everyone.